Western pop stars are allowed to be messy. They can throw tantrums, write angry breakup songs, and stumble out of clubs. But the K-pop industry operates on a different set of rules. Here, idols are engineered to be paragons of moral, physical, and social perfection. Training an idol costs millions, and fans invest just as heavily. They buy the albums, stream the music videos on loop, and defend their favorites online, pouring massive emotional capital into maintaining these godlike avatars. Building an entire business model on human perfection creates a structural vulnerability. Eventually, the mask slips, and the real human is exposed. In Indonesian pop culture spaces, a specific term has emerged to describe this reveal: bermuka dua. It translates to two-faced. The industry logic follows a specific trajectory. The higher the moral pedestal an agency builds for an idol, the more violently they fall when a second face is revealed. The two-faced label signals the collapse of a multi-million-dollar psychological contract. It marks the moment the audience realizes the person they supported was never the person they were sold. For years, Astro's Cha Eun-woo was the industry's golden boy. He maintained a reputation so clean that he became a standard for a scandal-free career. Then, the National Tax Service surfaced allegations of a massive tax evasion scandal involving tens of billions of won. Fans experienced a sharp, sudden sense of whiplash. They had bought completely into an image of untainted purity, only to be confronted with a worldly, unglamorous offense: hiding money from the government. This contrast between the angelic image and the calculating tax evader forced the public to reevaluate his history. Many began to see his flawless persona as a corporate shield. A financial scandal pulls an idol down into the gritty reality of mundane greed. It replaces the untouchable image with a very human one. Super Junior's C1 built his fame on a foundation of faith. He spent years speaking about his religious devotion and positioning himself as an ambassador for global peace. That reputation suffered a significant blow when an Instagram story he shared sparked intense accusations of Islamophobia. For a brand built on universal love and acceptance, sharing content perceived as cornering a marginalized group directly contradicted his public identity. Official apologies were issued, but the incident created a lasting tension. The image of the peaceful ambassador now existed alongside an act perceived as intolerant. When a public figure is marketed as a moral architect, their audience holds them to that exact standard. A single act of intolerance can damage that trust, leaving the two-faced label difficult to shake. Sometimes the label is applied through association. Daniela from the group Katseye was marketed as a hardworking and humble trainee. Her crisis didn't come from her own actions, but from her father's chaotic presence online. He took to the internet to claim his daughter was a superior dancer to established megastars like Blackpink's Lisa. The fallout expanded to include alleged racist remarks toward Daniela's bandmate Yoonchae and insensitive comments regarding another member, Manon, who was on hiatus. While Daniela didn't commit these acts herself, her silence became the issue. Fans interpreted her refusal to condemn the behavior as a form of complicity. In an industry that constantly sells the image of perfect group harmony, an idol is inevitably judged by the actions of their inner circle. Failing to address the loudest members of that circle destroys the illusion of the team. These three cases clarify that the two-faced label isn't necessarily proof of a master deception. Public betrayals are the byproduct of an entertainment machine that demands one-dimensional perfection from complex human beings. When a human is packaged as a flawlessly pure entity, any display of real-world flaws, be it financial bias, personal bias, or messy family dynamics, is interpreted as a betrayal. This reaction stems from the realization that years of emotional and financial investment were directed toward a corporate mirage. The shock comes from seeing the human reality collide with the marketed fantasy. As long as the idol industry and the fans who fund it demand absolute perfection, they are practically guaranteeing they will eventually meet the second face.